Hi, Jesse Durham here, and today's subject is going to be time is money. Now, we've probably all heard of that, said it, thought about it, and it may even mean different things for everybody. It's probably meant different things to me at different points in my life. But we have probably heard that, and we have probably had some conceived or maybe preconceived thoughts or ideas about what that means. So let's just dive in concerning that question and view it through a lens of being our own bankers. Now, for each of us, the question is what do we want to be using our time for? Do we want to use our time more with family? Do we want to use our time more with our hobbies? Do we want to use time more in our business to grow and develop it? More in our investing to grow and expand there? More in vacations? Whatever the case may be, we have things that we're going to do, need to do, want to do, aspire to do with our time, and it's the most precious commodity that we have. So, in practicing the infinite banking concept, what I'd like us to realize is that in developing our system to provide us with more time for the things that we want, that happens a couple of different ways. So let's start with number one, the internal growth that we can see from a dividend paying whole life policy that's been properly structured for banking purposes with a mutual company that's paid dividends well over 100 years. Very, very well established. So there are guaranteed growth rates in those policies, in that unilateral contract that we have with our insurance companies. We have guaranteed growth. That means that we could call today and we're going to have a certain amount of cash value in our policy, just because of the nature of whole life insurance. And we could call tomorrow and that number is going to be bigger. And we could call the next day and it's going to be bigger because there's that guaranteed growth. Now the dividends are going to be on top of that, and it's a big beautiful thing. We've spoken about dividends multiple times, but it bears repeating because it's the cream on the sundae, right? So there's going to be that guaranteed growth regardless. Now, I would not necessarily say that in banking there is our end all be all. Somebody's performing the banking function, somebody has access to our capital, somebody sets up control. So we either have these things or we don't. In having a private banking system, we do. But that's not the end all be all, meaning we have cash values that Nelson spoke about in his book, and it's what we do with those cash values. It's how we access that capital and what we do with it that is actually the bigger difference maker. Now, it is still on top of everything that we've already spoken about, the guaranteed growth, the dividends, and everything therein. However, if you're a small business owner, a big business owner, an investor, or even an employee, and anywhere where we're working professionally, where we can have access to capital that can grow and expand that, see, that's another way, that's a second way to be able to earn in some down times. So let's talk about some down times. Because there are times both in our control and out of our control where we may have down times. As an employee, that may be we take a vacation and we're not at work, and we may not have paid leave or a vacation time, whatever that may look like. But if we have been funding and fueling a privatized banking system, there's growth therein. And then also, if we're playing honest banker, practicing honest banking, and we have financed that vacation through our private banking system, and we recapture that money, then we've literally grown our pool of money, we've grown our cash values by taking a vacation. If we're practicing honest banking and we're paying ourselves first, paying ourselves with interest, and recapturing the money. So it's not the case that the time that we're spent away from our employment that we're not earning at all or whatsoever, especially if we get that back. So that's a beautiful thing. If we're a small business owner, is there a way for us to be able to access capital, access our cash values, and use that to be able to grow and propel our business? Well, absolutely. But again, insert time spent in hobbies, time spent in vacations, time spent away from our business our business can continue to grow and flourish and prosper because we could be viewing our dollars as employees. We're not just working to earn, but our money is working to earn for us. We're not always having to work for our money, but we can make our money work for us. So whether you are an employee or a business owner or an investor, if you can get to where your dollars are employees for you, they're working for you, it's not just about what you can do in exchanging hours of life hours, for earnings or profits or gains or wages. It's what our dollars can be doing to augment that, to grow that. That way we could be earning in down times. Now, the example of a vacation is a self-imposed downtime. We're having a lot of fun. It's a great thing. We want to do more of it, most of us. But then sometimes there are some things that are outside of our control, things that from the outside can affect what we are doing. And that could be anything from what we've seen throughout history: depressions, wars, recessions, pandemics, shutdowns, whatever the case may be there. Things from the outside that may affect what we're doing. Well, again, when we know that we've got a system in place, or we've at least started a system to be able to recapture what we do in banking with the funds that we have, and of course we just grow and expand that, and eventually that's grown and expanded to premiums equaling income, and then eventually exceeding. If you're not sure about that, we'll have a conversation. Feel free to email me or call, or just keep digging in Nelson's Worker course. Keep digging in these videos and these audios, but they'll eventually exceed our income. And yet, during downtimes, regardless, what I'm saying is we can be earning through the nature of having whole life policies, but also, and maybe much, much more, with what we do with the access that we have to the cash values, and using that to expand our business, expand our profitability in investing, or whatever the case may be for ourselves, in recapturing all those dollars. So ultimately what we arrive at, and this is described in R. Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker, I believe it's page 22, where he's talking about the airplane example, that we can arrive at this scenario where it gets better no matter what. It gets just more and more efficient because of our long-range thinking, because of our imagination, and everything that Nash promoted in being our own bankers. It just gets better no matter what. The efficiency grows and expands no matter what. As long as we're following the rules of paying ourselves first, paying ourselves with interest, recapturing that, we're playing honest banker, we're not stealing the peas, it gets better no matter what. So in viewing this catchphrase of time is money, knowing that we have a system in place, or we've started to put a system in place at the least, or we're vetting this idea of becoming your own banker, considering starting a privatized banking system for ourselves, we can look at that statement, time is money, in a much different way, knowing and understanding the nature of whole life insurance, knowing and understanding and putting into practice being our own bankers, so that downtimes, whether self-imposed or imposed from an outside force, can still help us to, regardless, become more efficient, to grow, to develop, to expand, to earn, even when we're not there. And that's a beautiful thing. So this has been a pleasure for me to address this thought of time is money today. I hope this has been helpful. Again, I encourage you to keep reading Becoming Your Own Banker and Building Your Warehouse of Wealth, Nelson's 2 books. Keep diving into the video and audio here on the channel. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have a question that you want individually directly answered. You can reach me at 828-817-4223 for a phone, and you can email durhamtalents@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Hope this has been very helpful. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.